We tend to think of our bodies as these silent partners, just kind of carrying us around. But the truth is, they're talking to us all the time. Today, we're going to learn their language. We're decoding the subtle and sometimes, well, not so subtle warning signs that can tell us when something's wrong, way before it becomes a huge problem. So let's start listening.
So let me just ask you, straight up, is your body trying to tell you something right now? Maybe it's a nagging ache, a weird sensation, something you've just been brushing off. Today, we're going to tune in and learn how to listen a little more closely.
All right, first up are the invisible signals. The ones you can't see, but you can definitely feel them. We're talking about those strange sounds and phantom sensations that are so easy to ignore, but really shouldn't be. So let's kick things off with tinnitus. Now look, we've all had that fleeting moment where our ears ring, maybe after a loud concert or something, but tinnitus, that's a whole different beast. It's a persistent ringing, and as you see here, it's not the disease itself. It's more like a warning light on your body's dashboard.
And this is where it's so important to know the difference. That occasional ringing that just fades away? Yeah, that's usually nothing to worry about. But the kind that sticks around, that constant noise, especially if you're also feeling dizzy or your hearing seems off, that's your body waving a big red flag.
And here's exactly why you need to pay attention. That persistent ringing could be an early clue for some really serious stuff. We're talking about nerve damage, high blood pressure, even blocked blood vessels, and in some rare cases, brain tumors. It is absolutely a signal you can't afford to ignore.
Okay, so let's move from a phantom sound to a phantom sensation. Have you ever felt that? A really strong pounding heartbeat, but not in your chest, in your neck? It's a pretty unsettling feeling.
Well, what's going on there is all about your carotid arteries. Think of these as the major highways on each side of your neck, pumping essential blood from your heart straight up to your brain. So when they start making their presence known like that, it's worth asking, why? And here's the key. Context is everything. Feeling that pulse after you've been running or you're in a stressful meeting? Totally normal. It's temporary. But if you're feeling it a lot, for no obvious reason, when you're just sitting there relaxing, that could be an alarm bell from your cardiovascular system, pointing to possible issues with your heart valves or arteries.
All right, now for the clues you can actually see. It's time to take a good, close look in the mirror. Because believe it or not, your hair, your nails, and even the whites of your eyes can be a window right into your internal health.
When it comes to hair loss, a lot of us just shrug and say, it's genetics. But it's not always the case. Intense stress can literally shock your hair into falling out. Hormonal shifts can do it too. But one of the biggest secret culprits is a lack of vitamin D, which can really weaken the hair right from the root.
And listen, this vitamin D signal is so important. Losing some hair is one thing, but a long-term deficiency, that can lead to something way more dangerous, brittle bones and osteoporosis. And this is a huge concern, especially as we all get older and bone health becomes absolutely critical.
Okay, from our hair, let's move down to our fingertips. It's actually amazing how much our nails can tell us about what's going on deep inside our bodies. They really are like a little mirror of our overall well-being.
And this is a perfect illustration of a key difference. You see those faint vertical lines? Yeah, they often just pop up as we get older, and they're usually no big deal. But horizontal lines, these are called Bowes lines. That's a different story. They're kind of like a scar on a tree, showing that your body's normal growth was interrupted by something major, like a high fever, a bad infection, or even a serious vitamin deficiency.
Okay, I really need you to pay close attention here. Of all the messages we're talking about today, this next one is the one that demands immediate action. Seriously, this isn't a suggestion, it's an emergency broadcast.
If the whites of your eyes ever start to look yellow, that's a condition called jaundice. and it is a screaming red alert that your liver is in trouble. Basically, here's what happens. Your body makes this yellow stuff called bilirubin. A healthy liver just filters it right out, but if your liver is damaged, that filter fails. Bilirubin builds up, and because the whites of our eyes are so thin, that's the first place you see it.
Okay, let's talk about a feeling that I'm sure many of us know all too well. Waking up exhausted. You get a full 8 hours, but you still feel like you got hit by a bus. Well, that deep, constant fatigue is a major signal that the quality of your sleep is just terrible.
One of the major hidden culprits here is something called sleep apnea. This is a really serious condition where you actually stop breathing over and over again all night long. Your brain is so busy just trying to get enough oxygen that it never reaches those deep, restful stages of sleep. So you're not actually resting, you're basically fighting for air all night.
But there's another, much more modern villain in the story, and it's probably in your hand or on your nightstand as we speak. It's your phone. It has become, without a doubt, the #1 enemy of a good night's sleep.
See, that blue light pumping out from our screens is a total disaster for our bodies. It tricks our brain into thinking it's still daytime, which blocks the release of melatonin. That's the hormone that tells our body, hey, it's time to sleep. This doesn't just make it harder to fall asleep, it throws your entire body clock out of whack and can even weaken your immune system over time.
And if you think, oh, it's just a little sleep, think again. The long-term consequences are, well, they're staggering. Recent studies have found that having chronically low melatonin, the exact kind caused by staring at screens at night, is linked to a much higher risk. We're talking up to 30% of certain cancers, especially in men. This isn't just about feeling tired. This is about your long-term health.
Okay, so we've learned how to spot the signs. We've decoded some of these secret messages our bodies are sending. But the most crucial final step is, what do we do now? It's all about turning this awareness into real, meaningful action. And this right here is probably the single most important takeaway from our whole explainer. You have to remember, these signs, the ringing in your ears, the fatigue, those lines on your nails, they're just clues. They are signals to investigate. They are not a final diagnosis.
So what's the game plan? It's actually incredibly simple. Don't go down some internet rabbit hole trying to diagnose yourself. Don't brush it off for another week. The whole point of recognizing these signals is knowing when it's time to get a professional opinion. Don't put your health on the back burner. So I'll leave you with this one last thought. As you go about the rest of your day, just listen a little more closely. Pay attention to those quiet whispers and maybe even the loud alarms your body might be sending you. Because the first step to getting healthier is just being willing to listen. Did you hear